Making headlines, EOSIS calls for revision of eligibility criteria for concessional financing. Maldives calls for a youth-inclusive approach in peace building and sustaining peace, which accommodates the concerns of the youth demographic. Foreign Minister highlights role of United Nations in making the lending environment more hospitable. Discuss issues of mutual interest, especially with regard to the United Nations security.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Nasma Abdul Mohsin and this is PSM News. The Alliance of Small Island States EOSIS calls for revision of eligibility criteria for concessional financing. Speaking for EOSIS, highlighted that most small island developing states development models and remain trapped in the middle income trap. SIDS gains due to external countries that have structural need to revisit the idea of gross development. Minister Asim and Social Council such as high debt burdens and decline in correspondent banking relationships. The ECOSOC Forum on Financing for Development is being held from the 23rd to the 26th of April in New York. Minister Asim is taking part in the ministerial segment of the forum. The Maldives is serving its 4th year as chair of EOSIS. Maldives calls for a youth-inclusive approach in peace building and sustaining peace, which accommodates the concerns of the youth demographic and underscores the important role of youth. Speaking at the United Nations Security Council Open Debate on Youth, Peace and Security, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Maldives Dr. Muhammad Asim highlighted the significant investments made by the government of Maldives to ensure youth are afforded the necessary social and economic opportunities and help to build cohesion and unity among the youth. The Maldives delegation also recognized the importance of partnerships to enhance the engagement of youth through innovative means such as art, sports and media, which have a wider outreach to the youth population. The Secretary-General Special Envoy on Youth, Ministers, Deputy Ministers and other Council on the eve of sustaining Foreign Affairs environment more hospitable necessary between all countries to achieve the Addis Ababa Action Agenda on Financing for Development and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Furthermore, Minister Asim noted challenges faced in leveraging appropriate sources of financing for SIDS where domestic resource mobilization is limited. Minister Asim is taking part in the ministerial segment of financing 23rd to Dr. Muhammad Asim meets with several permanent representatives to discuss issues of mutual interest, especially with regard to the United Nations Security Council. The Maldives is campaigning for support in its bid to become a member. Minister Asim is visiting New York to participate in the high-level meeting on peace building and sustaining peace, hosted by the President of the General Assembly, as well as the ministerial segment of the Economic and Social Commission's Forum on Financing for Development. The Embassy of Maldives in Pakistan participates in the Charity Bazaar, jointly organized by the Foreign Women's Association in Pakistan and Corps of Service Attachés Ladies Association to raise funds for the Marshall Model School, Bariman, Pakistan, a school run by a charity in Pakistan. Vice President of IFWA is Aisha Salim, who is the spouse of Ambassador Ahmed Salim, and the President of COSAL is Khadija Zina, who is spouse of Maldives Defense Advisor in Pakistan. Elections Commission of Maldives sends required documents to the Ministry of Finance and Treasury to release funds for the political parties.
Elections Commission of Maldives revealed it has decided to fund political parties which meet the standards highlighted in the Political Party Act. According to the Political Party Act, political parties must consist of at least 10,000 members to be eligible for state funding. The parties will receive funds from the state in accordance with the number of members. While the government of Maldives has allocated over $1.5 million from the state budget for political parties, only 4 parties are eligible for the funds. In this regard, Progressive Party of Maldives, PPM, which has a membership of 45,865 registered members, will receive $743,855. Moreover, Maldivian Democratic Party MDP, which has a membership of 29,759 registered members, will receive $485,122. Meanwhile, Jumhuri Party JP and Maldivian Democratic Alliance MDA will each receive $168,175. The Political Party Act states that each political party must submit an audit report approved by a state-accredited audit office to Elections Commission and the Auditor General's office in the first 90 days of every year to be eligible for state funding. Elections Commission noted state funding for Maldivian Democratic Party MDP is suspended as it has not submitted the necessary documents.
First Lady of Maldives Fatma Ibrahim officially kicks off the biggest futsal cup of Maldives, Youth City Futsal Cup 2018. A total of 136 participated in the tournament, which has separate men and women's divisions. The champion teams from each division will win $6,468, while $3,234 are allocated for the runner-up team and $1,617 for the fair play team. The tournament was initiated in 2017 by the Housing Development Corporation HDC, aimed to create a friendly environment and a platform for networking, community building and instilling values of sportsmanship among the participating youth. Moreover, HDC believes in the importance of creating better opportunities for the youth through such activities and make the government's vision of Hulumale as a youth city come to life. Ministry of Education awards sports scholarships to 8 students.
The scholarship letters were presented at Milo Colors Award by Minister of Education Dr. Aisha Triham. The student received scholarships from volleyball, athletics, badminton and swimming. Speaking at the ceremony, Education Minister Aisha Triham stated the number of students receiving a sports scholarship is increasing. The Education Minister highlighted that 29 students from atolls are brought to Male to provide training programs from experienced coaches, noting that 6 students are training abroad. The minister also mentioned educational expenses of the students are covered by the government of Maldives. Sports scholarships was introduced in 2014 as part of the efforts of the government to develop talented athletes. It offers students opportunity to train under the guidance of the National Sports Association of Maldives. The sports scholarship program is an ambitious effort targeted at developing skilled young Maldivian sports people with a well-rounded education. During the ceremony, Minister of Education conferred Milo Colors Award 2018. The annual Colors Award is held to acknowledge students who excel in the field of sports on a national caliber. The Education Minister congratulated the students on the achievements and supported the growth in the sports arena. Noting the current government has paved a way for students to develop in sports, The minister noted the results of those endeavours are remarkable as the sports scholarship awardees are increasing yearly. This year, different awards were achieved by 180 students.
Anti-Corruption Commission of Maldives states it faces major obstructions in its efforts to curb corruption in the country.
April 21 is marked annually as the National Anti-Corruption Day in Maldives. The official reception to mark the day was attended by officials from Anti-Corruption Commission ACC, senior government officials from relevant institutions. Speaking at the ceremony, President of ACC Hassan Lutfi noted the Commission is faced with major obstacles in its lawful duty to curb corruption in the country. Citing a rise in number of cases filed at the Commission, Lutfi said internal operations of the Commission are being reformed to handle such influx. In this regard, he noted the Commission is continuously working with relevant authorities to amend the anti-corruption laws to ensure equitable and rapid services. During the ceremony, ACC released its Statistics Report, Social Audit Report and Anti-Corruption National Symposium Report. The Commission also awarded certificates to exemplary staff, individuals, institutions and organizations that assisted the ACC in following its mandate.
Maldives Inland Revenue Authority MIRA opens its office in Hurmade. The office of the authority was opened at the second floor of the commercial block in Hurmade. The office was officially opened by the Commissioner General of Taxation, Yazid Mohammed. Upon the opening of the office in Hurmade, MIRA said the endeavour was part of its policy to provide accessible services to the public. The Tax Administration Authority noted all the services which can be attained from the head office in Mali City will be available from the office in Hurmade. MIRA further revealed plans of opening more offices in the atolls. Currently, MIRA has 12 offices in the outlying islands, while its services can be attained online. MIRA collects around 80% of the total revenue collected by the government of Maldives. The main responsibilities of MIRA include execution of tax laws, implementation of tax policies and providing technical advice to the government in determining tax policies. French President Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron arrive at the White House at the start of the first state visit hosted by U.S. President Donald Trump.
U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump greeted the Macrons at the West Wing driveway entrance of the White House. Working meetings will be held at the White House before French President Emmanuel addresses Congress the following day, the anniversary of the day that French generals Charles de Gaulle addressed a joint session of Congress in 1960. The first couples dined at Mount Vernon, the Virginia home of George Washington, the first U.S. president. Washington was a Revolutionary War commander whose alliance with France was critical to victory over the British. The first couples also toured the mansion and visited George Washington's tomb before returning to D.C. on a short helicopter ride. Macron's visit is the first time Trump has hosted a state visit since he took power in January 2017. While the French leader has tried to develop a close relationship with Trump since he took office last year, he has so far seen few tangible results on issues from Iran to climate politics. Prior to heading for dinner at the 18th century mansion of George Washington, Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron planted a tree on the lawn of the White House.
Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has urged the club's fans to show respect to Champions League semi-final opponents AS Roma when they arrive at the stadium.
Liverpool are being investigated by UEFA after their supporters threw objects at the Manchester City bus, causing damage as they arrived for the quarter-final first leg at Anfield this month. Klopp said he wanted to see the same passion and noise from the Liverpool fans inside the ground, but better behaviour on the streets outside. The German also praised Roma, saying he was impressed with the depth of their squad after Eusebio Di Francesco's side knocked Barcelona out of the competition by winning 3-0 in Rome after losing the first leg 4-1.
I was surprised that they, after the first result, that they can have that kind of comeback against Barcelona, because it's pretty rare. But how is that? So they could make round about 7-8 changes for the last game, and was quite packed. So, to be honest, in the moment, that's a big advantage as well. But they really have pretty much a full squad available, and that's good. And all of them are good.
Klopp said former Roma forward Mohamed Salah, who was named Player of the Year by England's Professional Footballers Association (PFA), should not expect any special treatment from his former teammates.
The cast and crew of the latest Marvel movie Avengers: Infinity War walked the red carpet at the film's world premiere in Los Angeles.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants.
The sequel is the 19th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
See it. It's not another Marvel movie, it's the Marvel movie, and I feel incredibly privileged to be part of it. And as a fan, I cannot wait to see it, because I'm just one small square in a massive mosaic, so the heavy lifting has been done by a lot of people. So it's genuinely really enjoyable. I can't wait to see it.
The ensemble cast included Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Benedict Cumberbatch, Don Cheadle, Tom Holland, Chadwick Boseman, Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Letitia Wright, Dave Bautista, Zoe and Chris Pratt. Try and avoid leaks and spoilers, sees the Avengers join forces with the Guardians of the Galaxy to stop Thanos from amassing the all-powerful Infinity Stones.
For sure. I mean, even the first scene I shot was with the Guardians, and I love those films and was such a fan, and I walked on set that day and I hadn't met any of them, and I was like, oh my God, I'm meeting the Guardians, and so I had to kind of keep going, hang on, you're Thor, you're supposed to be confident in this environment, but I was a little kind of on my back foot, just kind of wowed by the whole thing.
Avengers: Infinity War, which has an estimated budget of over $300 million, makes it one of the most expensive films ever made and hits theaters on April 27th.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Have a very pleasant day.